Well, speak up. Speak up. I have a soft voice. I suffer from debilitating migraine headaches, and I have been since I was a teenager, and have been going to neurologist my entire life. Been like a test patient for all types of medications, and even have to end up taking morphine, and am in the bed, debilitated almost every week of my life with migraines. So sometimes 2 or 3 days. So would really, really like to not be in pain anymore.
Great.
Okay, now I have no idea what's wrong with her, but she does. So we're going to ask her body and see what her body says. So have a seat right there. And all you have to do is put your feet, just drape your legs over that stool. Okay. Now I'm going to slide the stool up a little bit. So now her legs are right here, even. If you can see that on the camera. Need some more light? Can't see it. Turn the lights on. How about that?
There we go.
There we go. Okay.
How much is paper worth?
Okay. Now, if you can see on the screen there, her feet are even right there where they touch. See that? Everybody see that? Okay, now, they're just resting in the palm of my hand. If I move and jiggle her feet and turn them out, they come back even. So I'm going to ask her unconscious mind if I have contact, and if I've got contact, to give me a signal by shortening one leg, okay? So do I have contact? And look at that. Can you see that? Now, they're just resting. I'm not even touching their feet, and look at that. I just gently pick them up, and it goes, look how far it goes. Now, if I ask the body to give me a neutral indication, it comes right back to normal. See that? And I ask the body, can we find out what the primary cause of her headaches are? See it shorten? Look at that. This is the short leg. I pull on the short leg. Look where it's short. They're just resting on my fingers, and I allow the body to come back to normal. And see it coming back to normal? Look at that. So the body's willing to cooperate. So let's ask, is it coming from vitamin mineral deficiency? And you can see, what does it say? It says no. Is it coming from toxicity? What does it say? No. Is it coming from structural misalignment? What does it say? Yes. Okay. Now, it didn't shorten quite as much, but it's indicating there's a structural misalignment there. But let's ask, what's causing that structural misalignment? And is it coming from an unresolved emotional issue? And what does it say? Look at that. Look at that foot short. It goes all the way up there. It's like it's shouting. You know, that what happens is that her unconscious mind has created the muscle tension and the muscle contraction that has pulled the vertebrae out, and we're going to find out what vertebrae, and that's creating her migraine headaches.
Somewhere up here, I know that.
Okay? So let's ask her body. Her body knows what vertebrae is out. I don't. I'm not a chiropractor, but I think we got a chiropractor here, don't we? So let's ask her body. Is it coming from her lower back? What does it say? Is it coming from her mid-back? No. Is it coming from her neck? What does it say? All right. What vertebrae is it? Is it C1? What does it say? Look at this. It's like her muscles are just turning in. It's just constricting when I ask that question. Is it coming from C1? First cervical vertebrae, the atlas, is causing her migraine headaches. Is it coming from C2? What does it say? Coming C3, C4, C5, C6, C7, C1. Look at that. Shortens right back up. Okay, now we want to find out, why is that vertebrae under so much stress? What's causing that vertebrae to be out? And we know that it's an unresolved emotional issue. Is that a true statement? It says yes. All right, let's find out, what is the emotion here that we're dealing with? Is it around hostility? No, it's not. Is it around fear of loss? What does it say? Is it around grief and guilt? What does it say? No, it's around fear of loss. So let's find the subheading. Under that is a list of subheadings, and I'm going to grab that chart right here. And I'm going to ask, is it subheading 1, subheading 2, subheading 3, subheading 4, subheading 5? And it shortens on subheading 5. Subheading 5 under fear of loss is threatened. Disappointment and threatened. Is that a true statement? Look at a foot shorten. Look at it actually turn in. It's shouting. It's saying yes. Now we want to find out how stressful is this unresolved emotion that she's holding on to on an imaginary scale from 0 to 100. Okay? 100 being really stressed out. So is it greater than 80%? What does it say? Okay. Is it greater than 90%? What does it say? Is it greater than 95%? What does it say? Now, I'm going to get the exact number, and you tell me when the exact number comes up. Is it 95? Is it 96? Is it 97? Is it 98? 98. That's pretty stressful. No wonder she's got migraine headaches. How long have you had this?
Since I was a teenager.
Teenager, okay. So let's ask her body, okay, take us back to the age of cause where this was actually planted like a seed. And we'll find out what perception. See, she created and formed a perception in her mind that is no longer makes sense to run it now because she's an adult, okay? So current age is what?
48.
48, okay. Can we go back to age of cause? We can. Is it 48, 38? Is it 38, 28? Is it 28, 18? What does it say? Is it 18? Is it 19? 19 shows up. Okay. Is this involving parents? Those involving friends. Is involving spouse or boyfriend? Look at that. God. What was going on when you were 19? We don't need the details per se because it's not about content. Now, I want you to understand, this is not about talking about it and burying all your wounded self. This is about energy. But what I want to do is make sure that we're locked in on what was going on. So were you involved in a relationship, getting out of a relationship, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it stressful?
Yeah.
Okay.
Killed in a car wreck.
I'm sorry?
He was killed in a car wreck.
All right. So what's his name?
Jeff.
Let's ask her body, is this involving Jeff? Is this involving Jeff? Look at her foot. She has not resolved that. She has not resolved it. And that's why her body is creating the migraine headaches, because it's in pain. So we're going to resolve it. Would you like to resolve it?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the nice thing about it. I'm not forcing her body to do anything. I'm not drugging her body or manipulating her body. And the good thing is that, have you been to chiropractors?
Yes.
And they adjust your neck?
Yes.
But you have to go back, right?
Yeah, always.
Because her body, even though you adjust it and put it back in place, the unconscious mind is pulling it out again because it hasn't resolved it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that part in love. I'm not going to go to it out of fear because she's operating out of fear. There's a program running in her subconscious out of fear. Remember I said only two emotions we operate off of, love and fear? She's dealing with fear back here. It hasn't been resolved. So what we're going to do is we're going to release this fear, and then we're going to replace it with love. And if we replace it with love, what do you think might happen to her life in the future? That's right. Okay? All right. Now, I don't know how to heal it, but she does. Let's ask her body. I've got some mental techniques that her mind can choose from. All I got to do is ask her body how it wants to choose it. All right? Let me ask, can we release this in a very gentle and loving way? Oh, now, look at this. When I ask her unconscious mind, can we release this in a very gentle and loving way? What does it say? Yes. No, it says no. It doesn't shorten. Remember, the yes is a shortening. So there's a part of her that's still hiding in fear that doesn't trust. But I know how to get around that. Because I know that that part of her, that spiritual part of her, its sole desire is to experience the love of all that is. And all I've got to do is talk to her unconscious mind which I'm going to talk to right now. In fact, I want to talk to that little girl, that little 19-year-old girl back there, and even the little girl that goes back further than that. And I want that little girl to know that I understand that it's living in fear, and I also understand that its highest intent is to experience the love of all that is. And by hiding in fear, it will not get there. So I want to invite that part of you to cooperate so we can guide that part out of the fear and into the love. And knowing that, I want to ask her unconscious mind, is it willing to cooperate now so we can release it into love? And what does it say? Yeah, that's all it takes. It's like that little child. It's either in love or fear. So you just go to it like a wounded child out of love and communicate with it, because I know that it's a spiritual part of her. It's the God essence, and it's trying to experience the love of all that it is. Okay? So that immediately creates trust. All right, so let's ask the body how it wants to heal. Do we release it to the light? What does it say? Okay, do we do the drop down through technique? What does it say? Do we do EFT? What does it say? Do we release it to the light? What does it say? Okay, so it's told me how it wants to heal. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to transform that fear. We've got to get her out of fear so we can replace it with love. Okay, all right, and it's not about the content. Okay, so but what you said is that at 19, what was it? Your husband or boyfriend?
My boyfriend, we were engaged.
Engaged. Okay, that was pretty traumatic when he died, wasn't it?
It was
Okay.
very shocking.
I want you to go back to that experience momentarily. And what I'm looking for is when you go back, I want you to see what you were seeing, hearing what you were hearing, and allow the feelings to come up, because that's what we want, is the feeling, the energy. It's all about the energy. And just tell me what you're feeling when you think about that traumatic experience.
Just extreme sorrow, loss.
Okay, you feel that now when you think about it?
Yeah,
Okay, and what do you feel? You feel sorrow, loss,
pain.
pain?
Yeah,
Okay. What else? Sadness?
sadness.
Okay.
Yeah, like why?
Okay. See, you can't deal with that because you can't put that in a box. It has no form or shape. It's energy. But in quantum physics and in physics, they said that you can't destroy energy or create it. You can only change its form. So what we're going to do, we're going to change the form. Now we can work with it. I want you to imagine all that fear and that pain and that all. You feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. If that had a shape, if all that negative energy came together and took on a shape, what would it look like?
It would be very dark.
Okay? You just make it up, whatever comes to your mind, because we see them communicating with your unconscious. If all that sadness and that trauma had a shape and you were actually able to see it blend together into a form, what would it look like?
Like a dark cave.
A dark cave, okay. All right. Now, I want you to go through the motions with me, okay? I want you to take your hand, and I want you to reach right here, and I want you to pull that dark cave out. Just pull it right out of your body and hold it right there. First time in her life she's able to see what pain looks like that she's experienced. As you look at that dark cave, what color is it?
It's black.
Black, okay. Is it smooth or is it rough?
It's rough.
It's rough. Is it heavy or is it light?
It's heavy.
Is it hollow or solid or
Well, there's entrance. To the
entrance?
dark cave.
Okay. What is your highest religious belief? Are you a Christian, Muslim, Jewish? What is your belief? Metaphysical, or
Well,
what is your concept of God?
I would say metaphysical.
Metaphysical, okay.
Christian metaphysical.
Christian
combination.
metaphysical. Okay. So you believe that God is all that is in the light?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to take that dark cave, and I want you to move it right up into the light,
Okay.
and just give it back. It's pure energy, and just let it disappear.
Okay.
Take a deep breath. Just let it go. That's right. Let me ask the body. Or it was 0% negative emotion charge. Look at that. I want you to go back to that experience that was so painful a while ago and notice what's different.
Feel peace.
Feel peace. Can you find any of the pain? Or is it
I
sin?
don't feel pain, but feel just a little sadness, but not the pain.
Okay, but the pain's not there anymore.
No.
See how quick that took? Just like that.
And I don't feel the shock.
Don't feel the shock?
Yeah, the shock.
I suspect it's probably like you're detached from it and you're looking at it from here.
Yeah.
See, a while ago, she was in the experience. She was in the pain. She was in the energy. But when we released the energy, it detached her from it, and now she's looking at it from a distance. It doesn't have that emotional impact. Now, that's gone for good. Now,
Just the thought of you bringing it up was making my body tremble, and I'm not trembling now. So.
how about that? Now, what's fascinating is that we accessed her highest religious belief, because you've heard that when you have darkness and you bring light to bear on darkness, what happens to the darkness? It disappears. So we release the fear, so now there's a clearing there. So what we want to do is
Now I think of this, huh?
we want to replace it with love and see what that does to her. Okay?
Okay.
So I want you to imagine if you were floating up into the light, and you being in the light. And if you were in the light, you're in that area of co-creation with God, all that is. And I want you to look back through the light and just see your life laid out all the way back to birth, conception, and beyond. And nobody knows your life like you do.
Mm-hmm.
What can you create out of the pure essence of all that is that you can bring back that when you put it in your life will heal your life? Is it love, unconditional love? Is it peace? Is it acceptance? Is it whatever? You're the creator now.
Well, I think it's some of all of those things.
All those things. Okay, want some unconditional love?
Yeah.
Want some peace?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Joy, fun.
Fun? Okay.
Yeah.
You can't put love and peace and joy in a box. Can't put it in a wheelbarrow or a container. So I want you to imagine if all that you just told me came together in a symbol, the most beautiful symbol you've ever seen. What would that symbol look like?
It's a big heart.
A big heart, okay. And what color is that heart?
It's pink.
Pink, okay.
A light pink.
Light pink. Is it sparkly? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. What color is the energy radiating from that heart? See the light radiating from that heart?
Yeah.
What color is it?
It's a gold white.
Gold white, okay. I want you to take that heart. That's a present to yourself. And I want you to take that heart and I want you to bring it back through the light and I want you to take it and I want you to carry it right inside.
Oops, sorry.
Carry it right inside. And just put it right there in your heart for
Okay.
safekeeping. And I want
All
you to
right.
feel that.
Okay.
Okay. Now that's the love and the joy that didn't exist until you just created it.
Yeah.
And I want you to imagine and experience that light radiating through your body.
Okay.
And you send it all up your neck,
Okay.
all around your head, and just bathe in that light. And what color is that light again?
It's a white gold.
White gold, okay. You feel that radiating from your body?
Yeah.
I want you to send it all the way back. And you know that little girl back there somewhere that felt unloved at one time?
Mm-hmm.
She didn't feel loved and she felt abandoned.
Yeah.
I want you to call her to you.
Okay.
Be there with her.
Okay.
And I want you to give her this heart
Okay.
and let her feel that love and joy that you brought back.
Okay.
And I want you to take her in your arms and tell her that you've come back for her and how much you love her.
Okay.
And I want you to bring her and that heart back. Put them right
Okay.
here for safekeeping.
Okay.
And shine that light all the way back through your life.
All right.
And let that light just heal all the traumatic experiences you've ever had.
Okay.
Take a deep breath. Just lock it in. Okay. Let me ask. Remember we were at what, 90-some% a while ago? Stress? Are we 0% negative emotional stress? What does it say? Yes. Are we 100% positive emotion on that? It says yes. All right. Does the unconscious feel loved and accepted? What does it say? Okay. Is there a little girl back there that feels loved and accepted now? What does it say? Okay. All right, let's check her neck. Let's check the C1. Okay. Notice that it's still shorting a little bit. Not as much as it was, but it's still short a little bit. Okay. Send that light back on your neck.
Okay.
I want you to radiate that love and that light to your neck. Send it
Okay.
to your neck.
Okay.
Do that now.
Okay.
Just feel your neck bathing in it. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to ask your body to let me know when the unconscious has released the tension and allowed that to heal. Hasn't done it yet. Okay? Okay. Just let me know when it's completed. See it?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's check C1. Okay. Let's check C1. Okay. Is C1 out of balance? Is C1 in a state of balance and harmony? What does it say? She brought her own vertebrae back. What she did is she released the muscles and the tensions in her neck. How does your neck feel?
It feels good. Because
Feel
when I
better?
came here, I was in pain.
You in pain now?
No.
I didn't do it. She has all the resources within her body to heal. Okay?
I've been living almost every day of my life in pain, but most people don't know it because I don't
Okay.
talk about it. So.
You have a very special gift that you just created that did not exist until you created it.
Yeah.
And it's right here.
Okay.
And you can actually color your future with this light. In fact, I want to invite you to do that now. I want you to imagine and experience sending that light. What color is it again?
It's pink.
Pink?
Oh, the light is a white gold.
White gold.
Yeah.
Send that white gold light out into your future and see yourself out there in the future. And as you look out in the future surrounded with this white gold light, what do you see?
I see lots of. I see myself giving back, helping others, and I see fun and happiness.
That's right. Anytime you have a little stress, anytime you want to focus on a goal, all you've got to do is access that heart
Okay.
and know that little girl's there and just love that little girl. Check in with her because that little girl is metabolically a symbol of your unconscious mind.
Okay.
If you take care of that little girl inside, metaphorically speaking, that little girl's going to take care of you. And now it's a togetherness thing.
Mm-hmm.
Send that light together out into your future and see yourself having and doing what you experience. And because this light represents what? Love?
Love,
That's right.
unconditional love. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. How about a big hug? You certainly will. And keep me informed. If you get one of the flyers, send me an email. Let me know how you're doing.
I will.
Let me know how you're progressing.
Thank you very much.
You're certainly welcome. See, that's the power of love. It's all about love and fear. You take them out of the fear and you replace it with love, and it has the capability of changing their whole life. Next. Okay. Tell those young folks out there what kind of problem you have.
Okay. Well, I've been suffering with depression for many, many years, and I also have chronic back and neck pain and a slew of adrenal type related issues. And I would love to be helped.
Okay? There again, I don't know what's going on with her, but she does. So let's communicate with her body. Okay? So you have depression now?
Yes,
Okay. Are you taking medication?
I am.
Okay. And is it helping or what is it doing?
I think it's helping.
Still
but
have
I
depression?
Just have, a slew of the other symptoms and just the.
Okay. All right. Normally what I'd do is I'd use the magnets and I'd go through her body placing the magnets on her, but I didn't do that because I knew exactly what the area to focus on. But we'll just ask here. Okay. Let's check the liver. Okay. Can you see that? Leg shortened, doesn't it? Okay. Indicates that the liver's out of balance. All right. Let's check the pancreas. Doesn't change. Pancreas is in a state of balance. Let's check. You still have your female organs?
Yes.
Okay. Let's check her ovaries. Okay. Her ovaries shortened. See how much it shortens there? Let's check her breast. See it shortened? Is it her right breast? What does it say? Is it her left breast? What does it say? Okay. Now, these are some heavy-duty magnets. So remember what I showed a while ago, that they've actually patented the application of using the magnet? Let's validate what her body just told me. Take that magnet and put either side on your right rib cage. We'll check her liver, okay? Look at her foot, okay? Now flip it over. Put the south pole there. Doesn't change, okay? Put one side on your right breast, okay? Does it change? Flip it over. Does it change? All right, move it to your other breast. Does it change? Okay, flip it over. Does it change? And that's just what I found out. Okay. Now, what we want to do is we want to correct that. And then we go back and we put the magnet back on there, and if the body's back into a state of balance, then we just validate it based on that patented application. Okay. Let's ask her body, why is the liver out? And why is her female organs out? And why is her breast out? Is the liver out because of vitamin mineral deficiency? What does it say? No. Is it because of unresolved emotional issue? What does it say? How about her ovaries and her breasts? Is that coming from structural misalignment? What does it say? Is it coming from toxicity? Is it coming from vitamin mineral deficiency? Is it coming from unresolved emotional issue? What does it say? She's got unresolved emotional issues too. That's the reason she's depressed. And it's affecting the energy in her female organs, which means that doesn't mean she's got anything. I don't diagnose or get into that area, but the energy is out of balance. And the energy is out of balance because of that unresolved emotional issues that she's holding. And what that will do is that somewhere down the road, if it's not corrected, could lead her to female problems. All kind of female problems. And the doctors are more than willing to take out your female organs or to put you into the system, so to speak. Okay? So, and they don't know why you have these problems, but you do. Okay? And your body just said there's an unresolved emotional issue there too. So let's ask, what is the emotion? Is it around hostility? No. Is it around fear of loss? What does it say? Is it subheading 1, subheading 2, subheading 3, subheading 4? Subheading 4. And what she's experiencing is a separation from self. It's kind of like a sense, a part of her soul is separated. Somebody got left behind, as I mentioned in the last seminar. There's a part back here that doesn't feel connected. And so she's having this feeling of depression, and it's affecting her body.
Rest them for a minute.
I'm
It's
sorry?
hard. It's just hard for me to keep them straight like that. They're
Okay.
really tight.
Okay.
When you need them back, Tom.
Okay. So what we want to do is we want to find out what that is, what the emotion is, and we want to free it up and clear it out and replace it with love. Okay? And then we can go back and put the magnets back on her organs and see if they come back into balance. Okay. So here we go. All right. So how stressful is this unresolved emotional issue? Is it greater than 90%? It is. Is it greater than 95%? No. Is it 91, 92, 93%? See it shorten? Okay. And what is the age of cause? What's the current age?
48.
48. Is it 48 to 38? No. Is it 38 to 28? No. Is it 28 to 18? No. Is it 18 to 8? No. Is it 8 to 4? No. Is it 4 to birth? We go all the way back to the womb on this one. Is it before birth? What does it say? Is it how many months in the womb? Is it 1 month in the womb, 2 months in the womb, 3 months in the womb, 4 months in the womb, 5 months in the womb? See that? Okay, how long have you had this depression?
I mean, most of my adult life that I know of, maybe, before that, I don't
Okay.
know.
A lot of research has been done on this. If you're familiar with Dr. Bruce Lipton's work, he's done a lot of research. But her body is saying that it goes all the way back to the womb, what, 5th month, did I say? Okay. And she was picking up the emotions from her mother and her mother's environment. Because what happens, even in the womb, the fetus is downloading information in order to prepare it to survive in the outside world. That's the reason you can take children who are born in poverty, in the ghetto. They are forming in the womb based on the stress that their family and their mother is picking up from the poverty and the ghetto environment so they can survive when they're born. You take somebody who is living in a rich neighborhood that doesn't have any kind of stress like that, their mental facility is developing so they can survive intellectually. They don't need the athletic ability to survive in a poverty environment. They need the intellectual ability. And they've already done research with rats to determine that. Same thing happens even in the womb. You're picking up stressful emotions from your mother and your father and her environment. And that little fetus was forming a feeling of not being loved, because it comes out as fear of loss, disappointment, a feeling of not being loved and unlovable. And it's not resolved. So we've got to resolve it, okay? Now, have you ever felt in your life where you didn't feel loved?
You know, I always felt like I was loved by somebody. You know, maybe there was.
Okay.
You know, and I've never felt completely unloved.
Okay. All right. So, if I contact that part of her, that little fetus, is that what's happening? Is there a sense of feeling unloved there? Look at her foot. I mean, it shorts more than any time I've tested her. All right. So her body is just kind of shouting out, yes, that's what's happened. All right. How do we heal this? Do we release it to the light? Okay, release it to the light. Okay. So let's do what we did a while ago. Okay. I want you to imagine a time when you did feel disappointment and unloved. Can you recall that?
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
one time.
And how old were you then?
About 5.
About 5? Okay. You recall that? Okay. Was that with your parents?
No.
With someone else? Okay. As you recall that, what do you feel inside?
Hurt.
Hurt? Okay. And if that hurt, that pain that you're feeling when you think about 5 years old, if it had a shape, what would it look like?
Like a black ball, tight.
Black ball? Okay.
Solid ball.
I want you to go through the motions with me. Pull that black ball out and hold it right there and describe it. Is it smooth or is it rough?
It's smooth and it's black and it's solid and heavy.
Heavy, okay. What's your spiritual belief?
I believe there's a God. I'm conflicted in that area.
Okay. Well then, I want you to imagine the light up there. I want you to take that, since it's just energy, it's just, you just made it up, it's just your imagination.
Okay.
I want you to move it up into the light and just watch it disappear. Okay. Take a deep breath. Just let it go. Go back to at 5 years old and notice what's different.
I don't know. I can't put it into words.
Any pain there?
No, I can't picture it as much. I can't get back there as much.
Something changed, didn't it? Okay. Let's see where we're at. Let's ask her body. Are we at 0% negative emotional charge on that? Yes. Release the fear. All right. Now, let's access that little fetus. Are we at 0% negative emotional charge? We are. All right. We release the fear, but we got to replace it with love. We've got to love that little fetus. Okay. So I want you to imagine. Have you ever had a doll when you were growing up?
And had like stuffed animals.
Stuffed animals. Okay. And did you get a sense of love when you were playing with those stuffed animals?
I guess so.
Okay. I want you to imagine being up in the light where you can create. You know, you're the creator now. And I want you to look back down and see that little 5-year-old girl back down there in your life somewhere. And knowing that what she went through, what can you create that you can bring back to give her that'll cause her to feel love? What does she need?
Acceptance.
Acceptance. Okay. Anything else? Unconditional love or anything?
Sure.
Sure, okay. Can't put that in the box. So what symbol would that look like?
I think like a star.
A star? What color is a star?
Like a dark midnight blue kind
Okay. What color is the light radiating from that star?
of. Sort of the same bluish.
Bluish color, okay. Would you take that star, would you bring it back, go deep inside. I want you to go all the way back to that little fetus. I want you to imagine that little fetus back there in your mother's womb, a little 5-year-old fetus. And imagine that little fetus not being loved, and you've come back with this gift to give that little fetus the love that she needs. Give her, how does she feel?
The 5-year-old girl or the 5-month?
The 5-month.
The 5-month is. I don't know what I would have experienced as fetus. So I don't know.
Okay. Just
Okay.
get a sense of, take it to that little 5-year-old girl,
Okay.
and how does she feel?
Better.
Okay. See, that's connected to the fetus. So she can't feel what the fetus feels, but she can feel what the 5-year-old feels. And the 5-year-old is basically just a extension of what was going on. Okay. Take that little 5-year-old and bring her back with you and put her right here in your heart. Okay. And tell her how much you love her. Tell her it's okay. That she's going to be with you from now on. And she's going to be safe in that very special place. And let her heal the little 5-month-old. Just send her back. Let her go back there and heal that little 5-month-old fetus. And just bring them back. Put them right here. Take a deep breath. Just lock that in. Okay. How you feel?
Good.
Okay.
Kind.
Let's ask. I don't know. Are we at 100% positive emotional charge on this issue? We are. And does the fetus feel loved and accepted? What does it say? Does the little 5-year-old feel loved and accepted? What does it say? Okay. Well, let's find out. I want you to take that energy. What color is that star?
Blue.
Blue. I want you to send it all through your body. Just experience and imagine your whole body lighting up with that color. Send it to your breast, send it to your female organs, send it to your liver. Just bathe in that love, that color. See, the unconscious likes metaphors and visualization. And send it out into your future. Color your future with this love and this light. Okay? All right. Let's go back. Let's check the liver. Let's check the breast. Let's check the ovaries. Okay. Take that. Put it on your right rib cage. No change. Flip it over. Doesn't change. All right. Brought the liver back into balance. Put it on your breast. No change. Flip it over. Doesn't change. Flip it over. Doesn't change. Flip it over. Doesn't change. She just brought her body back into a state of balance. And overall, when you take in a deep breath, how do you feel?
I feel better, like tension was released.
Tension was released?
My legs are really tight, my hamstrings, but the rest of me feels.
Okay. You feel like something changed?
Yeah, I think so. I'm afraid to get my hopes up. I guess that's part of the depression, but
All you have to
I
do
feel-
is just focus on this energy and just radiate it. This is your special gift. It didn't exist before. This is a gift that you brought back, that you created, that you put right here, that you can access anytime. And that little girl, that little 5-year-old girl, just make sure she's happy and that she's here with you. She got left behind. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. You certainly will. Okay, that's the power of your mind. And you didn't need an expert to do that because you had all the resources within your body to heal yourself. All you need is a guide to just kind of guide you in that process. So, any questions? Sure.
Could she do it to him right now?
Well, if she had the training, it's like anything else. You know, the first time you try to play a piano, you're not very good at it. This has been overall about 20 years of experimentation and working with this. But yeah, anybody can do it. Just anybody can play the piano. It just takes time.
I have a question. Is it possible that, like, some of the other symptoms and things like that are caused by other things, or is it likely that that one thing is sort of the cause of everything?
Well, when I asked your body if there was vitamin mineral deficiency there, it said no. If there was toxicity, it said no. It wanted to focus on that unresolved emotional issue. Now, that was the priority. There could be some small secondary things, but that was what your body was creating the depression around. That issue had never been resolved. It went all the way back to that 5-year-old girl, which even went further back in the womb.
Is it likely that some of the physical and other symptoms that I have were also caused by that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Emotions can cause all kind of problems. Any other questions? No questions? Okay.
How do you work, or where do you work?
Um,
I'm curious.
Well, I basically just work out of my home, and I don't advertise or anything because it's been more of a hobby research over a period of many years. I just wanted to find out how far can I go with this? How far can I take this? What are the limits to this? So it's been more research. But I do take clients, more than happy to work with you.
So what's your day job?
This
This is a hobby.
Well, I have a technology. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up.
I read your mind.
Yeah. I have been working with a technology that I have developed based on scalar energy. How many people know what scalar energy is?
You told us.
Yeah. Scalar energy is a form of energy that's always existed, but it's like dark matter and dark energy that you hear about that hasn't been proven. Scalar energy is a form of energy that has a different modality. It doesn't go out like sound waves or light waves. It's an instantaneous magnetizing effect. That's the easiest way to understand it, is that it magnetizes everything that it comes in contact with its signature. And it encodes information, not energy, not power or force. It's a very subtle energy. In fact, your thoughts are a form of scalar energy, because your thoughts don't go out like light waves. Your thoughts are instantaneous and can instantaneously go to the other side of the universe or the galaxy instantaneously. It doesn't go out in a long ways instantaneously. It happens. Your thoughts are a form of scalar energy. Scalar energy, if you Google it, there's a lot of information coming out about scalar energy now. The technology I have been working on and have developed around scalar energy is I have learned how to encode water and liquid nutritional products with frequencies. And this has been divinely revealed. I give credit to divinity, because over the past years I have been able to get these insights, and I'd get this insight, get these little nuggets as I pan for gold in the stream of life, so to speak. I get these little nuggets and I think, well, what if I do this? And yeah, what if I combine this or try this? And the feedback, I'd get me somebody and sit them down and access their unconscious. Their unconscious is part of that, all that is. And the feedback was coming from their mind. It was like I was tapping into a higher source, and it was telling me yes and no, try this, yes and no. And over a period of time, I've developed this technology to where now I have it to where I can energize water, and when you take a sip of this water, it has over 1.5 million frequencies encoded in it. And water holds memory just like a computer chip. In fact, I've got a DVD that I've just got that hopefully Nancy will let me show here at Unity movie night, called Water, the Great Mystery. And it validates what I'm telling you. The research has been done that they found that water has consciousness and it holds memory of the past. Well, I've discovered how to encode frequencies into water to where when you take a sip of this water, it has an immediate effect on the body. It harmonizes and brings your body back into a state of balance, because it gives the body all the vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and everything it needs energetically. And they have proven and demonstrated that since everything is energy, everything vibrates, they can literally record the vibrational frequency of a substance, play it to another substance like water, and that the characteristics of this will be just like the original. So when you drink this water, immediately it has an effect on your body. And you can bring your body back into a state of harmony and balance. Want to see it happen? I need somebody, a volunteer. Okay? Now, we're not going to do the emotional stuff. We're just going to ask our body if there's an imbalance of energy. And I'm going to show you how you can amplify your thoughts. The neat thing about this technology is that it can literally amplify your thoughts like a laser beam. And I'm going to have somebody actually bring her body back into a state of balance. Okay? So let's just take the magnet, put one side on your right rib cage. Okay? Relax your feet. There you go. Okay. See your legs shorten? Okay, turn it over. Need the paper underneath. Okay. How's that? Okay. See your legs shorten? Okay, turn it over. See it come back to normal? Okay, flip it over one more time. Okay, see it shorten? Okay. Put it right underneath your breast there. We'll check your pancreas. Carry it over to the center. Okay. All right. Wow, see it shorten there? All right, turn it over. Okay. See it come back to normal? Okay. She's got two areas out of balance. One is her pancreas and one is her liver. All right. I need a volunteer. The healer. Okay, come here. Okay. You see this right here? This is a plasma globe. Okay. I want you to put your hand on it. It's like liquid electricity. And I want you to send her energy. I want you to send her light and see her body coming back into a state of harmony. Okay, you got it? All right. Put the magnet back on your pancreas, okay? All right. Turn it over. Okay. It didn't change. It still shorts, right? Move it over to your liver. Okay. Turn it over. Okay. See, it still changes. So it didn't do anything. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this technology on this light. Just like that. Now, send her energy. See her encased in white light or whatever. Got it? Okay. Okay, you can let go. All right, put it up there. Doesn't change. Flip it over. Doesn't change. Move it over to your liver. Doesn't change. Change it. Doesn't change. How'd she do that? Because when I added the technology to that light, that globe, it actually sent a magnetic field with these frequencies encoded into that plasma gas, and as she actually was touching it, it amplified her thought, which is scalar energy, and now her thoughts, instead of being scattered, was focused like a laser beam, and she sent those frequencies to her body, and her body is 75 to 90% water. Remember what I said about water? It holds frequencies and it holds memory. And it gave her body everything her body needed energetically, and it brought her body back into a state of balance. It'll last about 2.5 days. Now, when you do this to water, and you drink water, this water every day, your body maintains a state of balance. When you do this to a liquid nutritional product, and you drink this liquid nutritional product, not only will your body maintain a state of balance, but one thing that it will do, it will protect her against electromagnetic radiation. A lot of information coming out now about the hazards of cell phone. There's nothing out there other than cell phone chips that you stick on your phone that will protect you. Nothing out there that will protect you against cell phone towers. But this technology, if you're consuming this technology, it will protect you against any electromagnetic radiation. In fact, if we had a cell phone or a hairdryer, we could turn it on, her body wouldn't react to it. Now, here's an experiment that I'd like to do. Now, she did that with one person. What I'd like to do, if everybody's interested, is everybody will hold hands, and we'll get somebody else up here, and we'll send that person all of this combined, amplified energy and see what happens. First off, is there anybody out there who feels like they're very sensitive to energy? That can pick up energy and they feel a change in energy? Who? Dr. Bryce? Okay, you want to try it? Okay, are you real sensitive to energy? Come on up. We won't even put the magnets on you. Now, in order to get to the light over here, if everybody that wants to participate will kind of get together to where you can hold each other's hand, and the last person, I want them to touch this light, okay? So you're going to be the last person, okay? All right, so I want you to touch that light. And I want you to sit right there. Okay? Everybody holding hands? Got a complete circle? Okay. Now, we got the technology on here. So I don't know if it's going to have any effect or not. This is a first-time experiment. So I know it works with one person, but I don't know what it's going to do with all these people. Okay? So I want everybody to send her love. Just send her love and healing energy. And I want you to just see if you can feel anything. You feel it?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
What does it feel like?
It feels like energy. Like
Okay.
power almost.
I want you to see that love swirling like a vortex. And just speed it up and just send that love to her. Feel that? Strong?
Strong.
Okay. And as you're doing that, I want you to take that energy and just radiate all through your body. And just feel the love through your body. Okay? Okay, take a deep breath. Lock it in. Let it go.
That was awesome.
Anybody feel that?
That was good.
You can actually see the difference.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you. The movement of the line
Okay.
that was coming up to where her finger was. It started moving. It was moving slowly, and then it started moving faster.
Speeded it up.
Line.
So any questions before we wrap it up? No questions? Okay.
Did any of the studying that you've done include any of the teachings from Dianetics or L. Ron Hubbard?
No,
Do you know about any of it?
I'm familiar with it.
Are there similarities?
I don't think so. Most of the studies I've done involved a lot of quantum physics and stuff. I'm not real familiar with that. I'm just basically familiar with it. Okay?
Now, when you were doing those two girls, if they're on a medication, can they stop the medication?
I don't go there. That's between them and their doctor. If she feels better, she needs to go to her doctor and tell her doctor and let her doctor work with her to get her off medication.
Okay, so if you go to a doctor and you have something wrong, and then they tell you, well, you have this wrong, so you have to take these 3 medicines too now. And my body tells me, you don't have to. Every time they tell me I have to take these 2 medicines, my body says no. So who am I supposed to listen to?
Well, that's up between you and your doctor. You know, if it was me, I'd listen to my body, but I can't tell you what to do. That's a personal judgment call. Any other questions? Okay.
Is there a way for, like, that was wonderful what you did for them. Is there a way for us to do that for ourselves at all?
Well, I'm working on marketing that technology to where I can have it available in a nutritional product or a water product. That's my vision.
I
think what she was asking is, just trying to be modest here.
Okay.
You can actually go to John's house and for a love offering of like $100 to go through that all. I mean,
Is
that's
that what you were asking?
yes,
Oh,
that's
as far as a session? Oh, yeah. Sessions I charge $90, and it usually takes anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, and we it only usually takes about one session, and we don't quit until we finish. And it gives you in the handout. I go through and find out if you've got vitamin mineral deficiency, if there's toxicity involved, and the whole gamut, so you get a health profile. Okay.
Does this help like release, I guess, past regression or whatever, and phobias and things like that?
I'm sorry. What was it?
she was asking that if it heals phobias and things like that.
Yeah, there's a good technique called EFT that works with that. That's one of the little mental tools I've got in my tool bag. And there's other ways of doing that.
Do you do trainings where you can train other practitioners to do your technique?
No, I haven't done any trainings. I've been too busy training myself.
If you ever do, I'd be interested.
Okay. Well, not really. I've not at that point yet.
Yeah, what was that tool, that was a tool that you created that you put on the internet there?
This is accumulation of about 20 years of research and development. I've got it down, the technology down to the size of a computer chip. And I can tell you exactly what it is. It's 2 Radio Shack magnets. This is what this is. This Radio Shack magnet has a hole in the center. And inside that hole is a smaller Radio Shack magnet that's held in there by the magnetic field. And on top of that are a few grains of an organic material that I have found out how to encode these frequencies into that organic material. And when I put it in this magnetic field, then the magnet actually carries those frequencies up. Wherever that magnetic field is, it carries those frequencies. So we could take a bottle of water. Anybody got a bottle of water? Yeah, a little bit of water. We could take and just touch that bottle to this, and it will energize it. Basically, where that magnetic field touches the water, it transfers those frequencies. So now this water has properties that will bring your body back into a state of balance. So if you drink that water,
Pass it around.
So this is 20 years of research right here. I got it down to what I call nanotechnology.
Could you wear it like a patch?
Huh?
Could you wear it like a patch?
You could make it into something like that. But the main thing is I want to market this to a company to where you can be buying their product. Okay?
Did you have health issues or any other issues before?
No. I tell people as far back as I can remember is when I was around 4 or so, and they took my tonsils out, and I never forgave them for that. I remember laying on the operating table kicking and crying, and they were trying to put this mask on me, and waking up with this awful God sore throat, and that's all I remember. And when I started down this road, it kind of flashed back in my mind that I was holding that kind of memory, and that it's like I tell people, they got hold of me one time without my permission, and if I have anything to do with it, they'll never get hold of me again. And the reason I got so involved with the cancer is because I saw too many relatives and friends die a horrible death. In fact, I just lost my first cousin's wife, just died several days ago. Was in the hospital for 2 months, and they just literally butchered this poor girl. And my intention is to share this information with people so they can make an informed decision that they don't have to experience that. Because how many people in here has been touched by cancer through a friend or personal experience or a relative? Most everybody has. And statistics are that about 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 2 people will get it in their lifetime. And the only options you got is radiation, chemotherapy, and surgery. But that's not the way you heal cancer. And what I'm trying to do is to share this information with you, to give you a parachute, because you'll need a parachute. And I tell people the mind is like a parachute. It works best when it's open. So the choice will be whether you open your parachute. And those handouts I gave you is a parachute. All you got to do is open it and use it, and it'll save your life.
Where are the handouts?
They're out. They're out there. I gave them out. What was left?
Somebody need one? Here's Joshua. Could you possibly talk to your own body and ask your body if you could just sit there and talk to your body to see if something was bothering you?
Well, I can do that using another person.
Okay, you have to have two people.
Yeah, in fact, since it's quantum physics and spirituality, I can use anybody as a surrogate. In fact, I've done that with friends. In fact, let me give you a quick story. Jim Hanley, from our breakfast group art. Remember when he was talking about he had a little granddaughter, and his granddaughter lived in Fort Collins, and his granddaughter was having these seizures. And they had carried the granddaughter to the doctors, and the doctors had done MRIs on her and wired her head up with EKGs and all this stuff. And they could not find out why she was having seizures. In fact, they didn't know why she was having seizures. And he asked me, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "But we can ask." He says, "Well, how are you going to ask? And she's in Fort Collins." I says, "We'll use you, because you have interacted with her energy field," going back to quantum physics. And so I sat him down in a restaurant, and you know how long it took me to figure out what was wrong with that little girl? And the medical community now had her for numerous times, had done MRIs on her, had done EKGs on her, the whole works. They could not figure out what was wrong with that little girl because they were looking for tumors and stuff in her brain. And you know how long it took me to figure out what was wrong with her? 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Because I just picked his feet up and I asked him, I said, "Get an image of her." He says, "Yeah." I says, "Is it coming from vitamin mineral deficiency?" "No." "Is it coming from toxicity?" "No." "Is it coming from structural misalignment?" "Yes." "Is it C1?" "Yes." How long did that take? About 10 seconds. So I told him, I said, "Call your daughter up and tell her to take that little girl, or call a chiropractor and ask the chiropractor, is it possible if C1 is out in her neck that it could cause seizures?" So I went home and pulled it up on a chiropractor's website, and there it was. Causes seizures and what else, Dr. Bryce? That's right. There it was. And when I saw him a couple of weeks later, I asked him, I said, "Did your daughter call a chiropractor?" She says, "Yeah." He says, she took the his granddaughter to a chiropractor, and the chiropractor, in his words, said that vertebrae was sticking out. That's what he said. I said, "Well, did the chiropractor adjust her?" He says, "No, the little girl would not let him touch her. Other than that, because she'd already gone through the trauma, then doing MRIs and EKGs and all this stuff on her head. She was traumatized, and she didn't want nobody messing with her head anymore." And I told him, I said, "We didn't find out why that vertebrae was out." He says, "I think I know." He says, "Because my daughter lives in a very abusive relationship. Her husband is very physically abusive. So you've got this little daughter, this little 4-year-old girl, living in a physically violent environment. So what does she do? She creates an escape mechanism. Her subconscious mind creates stress, pulls the vertebrae out, puts stress on that nerve, creates seizures, so she escapes." And several weeks later, I asked him about it. He says, "She's greatly improved. Most of the seizures have stopped." And I said, "What do you contribute that to?" He says, "My daughter left her husband. Took that little girl out of that environment. She didn't need to create the seizures anymore." So when you're dealing with energy, there's no distance. 10 seconds. Accessed her energy field through him. So I can test anybody's energy field using a surrogate. Works great with animals too.
I was going to ask you about animals.
Yep. Any other questions? No more questions? Okay.
Have you ever successfully helped someone that has cancer?
I have. In fact, I did a presentation here at Unity and uploaded it to Google, and a lady gave testimony. Helped her twice. First time she had cancer, breast cancer, and she didn't want to go the traditional route. I worked with her and got her on a proper diet, released the emotions. She went back after several months, cancer-free. She got off the program. Years later, she developed Crohn's disease. Medical community says there's no cure for Crohn's disease. She worked with her again, got her back on the program, released the emotions. She went back, got rescoped. They couldn't believe it. There was no sign of Crohn's disease.
I have a autoimmune disease. How does this kind of healing affect autoimmunity, especially, I guess, the overabundance of white blood cells?
Well, it could be the same thing. It could be an abundance. It could be an unresolved emotional issue. It could also more than likely be a vitamin mineral deficiency, specifically what is called glyconutrition. A lot of research has come out now about glyconutrition, to where they found that there's 8 essential sugars that the body absolutely has to have in order for cell-to-cell communication. And if the body is lacking one of those sugars in your diet, which most diets, the standard American diet is deficient in that, is that it's like the communication links are broken. It's like the phone lines. If the body didn't have these 8 essential sugars called glyconutrition, the cells can't communicate properly. And if the cells can't communicate, then the immune system can't recognize what is a cancer cell, or it can't recognize a bacteria, or it overreacts. One of the best things I found for that is aloe vera. Aloe vera is marvelous for that.
Do you have any specific drinks that have the aloe vera in it?
I don't recommend the drinks. Most of the drinks are diluted. You need at least 1,200 milligrams of the active ingredient in aloe vera, which is a sugar molecule. I order mine by the pound. It's dehydrated. It's pure aloe vera powder. Looks like flour. And I buy it by the pound. And
What do you put it in?
I mix up a nutrition shake in the mornings, but you can mix it in plain water or whatever. I've even uploaded videos around that, how powerful aloe vera is in dealing with cancer. But most autoimmune problems is a result of that. And it can be emotional too.
Yeah, they told me I have several. So, yeah, I probably need to start doing the aloe vera.
Yeah, or book a session and we'll find out what your health profile is.
Have you had any patients who were diabetic?
Same thing. You can get off of diabetes. If you're on insulin, you can be insulin free in 5-7 days. Hallelujah Acres right down here in Shelby, North Carolina, 45 minutes away. Thousands of testimonies. When you look at those videos, that one on eating, you'll see doctors in there talking about how you can be insulin free in 5 to 7 days.
Yeah, because I have a lot of patients who are diabetic.
And don't the medical community say there's no cure for diabetes?
Recently, a doctor came out who said that he felt you're by changing the diet to vegetarian to reduce
Yep.
fats and sugars.
Watch that video called Eating, and you'll find that the majority of the problems, health problems, have come from animal protein.
Have you ever released a negative emotional charge from somebody's past life?
No, I have. From all my experience, I haven't gone back to past life. I've gone back to the womb, but the body never has no need to go back to past life. From my experience.
Maybe that trauma from injuries, not so much the illnesses, but for example, gunshot wounds, things like that, where the body has had physical damage and trauma. Have you worked with people like that?
Not necessarily that. That can be an emotional response to that physical trauma. If you're in a car wreck, it creates a perception, a memory around that car wreck that needs to be released. But if you've got a leg blown off or you've got something, physical damage, that's physical. And
a lot of the trauma around that.
yeah, you can release that.
I have a question too. Tuesday, my grandmother, she was diagnosed with 2 different types of cancers. And they're trying to schedule like surgery for her next week. But I definitely want to show her the video. She lives in South Carolina. She's 77. So I'm hoping that she'll be open to it, because I think it would be a wonderful alternative, because they're trying to get her in surgery like as soon as possible, even though they just diagnosed it Tuesday. It's ovarian cancer.
Yeah. Place down here called Hallelujah Acres, 45 minutes away. They teach health based on biblical principles, which is primarily a vegan diet. And they got thousands and thousands of testimonies of people overcoming cancer.
Should be a seminar this Saturday at 10 o'clock. Was it last Saturday?
Yeah, last Saturday, first Saturday of the month. Any other questions? One more.
You said that this would work with animals too?
I'm sorry?
You said this would work with animals? Did I hear you correctly?
The diagnosis? Yeah.
What would you do for a
Tail shortens.
That's what? What'd you say?
How would you diagnose it for the pet?
I use you. I use the owner. Dogs respond to aloe vera. Dogs respond to natural products like that. But what I've done so far is I can check the imbalance of energy of an animal through the owner. You know, I can check the stomach, the organs and stuff and find out what's out of balance. Any other questions?
The two women you worked with, their trauma, could that all be, could it be post-traumatic stress disorder coming out in physical symptoms? Is that related at all to the post-traumatic stress?
Well, when you create a mental program from the past, it colors your life. It creates a pattern, and that can create post-traumatic stress because you're constantly experiencing that. It colors your life all the way out into the future. That's the reason you keep repeating the patterns over and over. That's the reason you keep having the same migraine headaches. That's the reason you keep having the same depression, because that original issue never has been resolved. Okay?
Well, I promise you'd be amazed. Were you amazed tonight? John Winstead.
Thank you so much.